No, I know you are, sir. Will you give a generalized question?
Oh, sure, yeah. My name's Walt, Garvin. I'm the chairman of the Northampton County Democratic Committee, and I got a question for Mr. Emrick and both incumbents.
The
Here.
questions are to be answered by all four.
That's fine, yeah, they can chime in on it, because the gentleman referred to people being tired of partisanship and gridlock. In 2010, the voters elected the House of Representatives to have a Republican majority for the first time in decades. That means that now the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the governor's mansion. There should be no gridlock in Harrisburg. However, all I see coming out of Harrisburg is cutting education, making sweetheart deals for fracking interest and oil interest up in the northern parts of the county, cutting general assistance to the poorest of the poor, $200 a month, the poorest of the poor, and then spending millions of dollars on this voter ID debacle. So what have the Republicans done to help our communities here? Cutting funding education raises our local property taxes. You shirk your responsibility, it forces the local governments to raise their things. So that's the issue. If the people that you knock on their doors, if they're sick and tired of partisanship, why can't you guys get anything done to help our community when you run the whole government?
Thank you for demonstrating partisanship.
It's a fair question, sir.
Fair question.
It's a fair question.
Well, I'll take the
Anybody wish to
education
answer?
part to start. I don't even know what the question was, first of all, but I'll take the education.
Why not?
he's
The question is
questioning
about
why you
partisanship.
made budget cuts.
It's about
There
partisanship.
should have been
There
spreading
shouldn't
the
be any
wealth.
partisanship when you
First of all,
guys control
there's-
the whole government. You
Is
should
this
be able to
where-
get things done for us.
Is this a
I don't
Walt
know.
Are we
Garvin?
gonna be able to answer?
Is this a Walt Garvin show, or is this a
Right.
State House
That's
candidate
something
debate?
to wonder.
Well, sorry.
We're here to discuss
Yeah.
primarily agricultural issues. You
Well-
had your say.
Do you wanna?
Does
I'm
anybody
not gonna
on
get
the
into
table
that.
care to comment?
Well, I will. You know, and I think when you're elected, and as you stated, you elected a Republican majority in the House, the Senate, and the governor. So anything that needs to be voted on needs 102, 26, and 1. Those are the numbers to get anything done. And even the state is so diverse that even the Republicans can't always agree on things. I know I was called to task with one of the newspapers, even though I voted against the congressional redistricting plan and went with the Democrats, I was still chided for it because they said, oh, well, they gave me a buy. Well, if you were there and if you would know how it worked, we didn't get a buy. Can I take his time?
No, I'll actually,
I have
I'll
already
take my
said-
time, because I think it's critical that facts get out. First of all, with the education funding,
I still have
we
5
come
minutes.
into,
I mean, 30
we come
seconds.
into House, the reason that Republicans swept the state to a large degree was because they got sick and tired of the people in office, especially Ed Rendell, increased spending 40% over 8 years, $8 billion, didn't put a dime into transportation funding. We still face a $3.5 billion transportation shortfall. Mr. Rendell also took $4 billion of federal stimulus money, which is where that budget gap came from that we had to close, while he was taking a two-year revenue stream of federal stimulus money that was supposed to be for shovel-ready job creation. He was gutting the state's contribution to K-12 basic education, backfilling it with federal stimulus money that they knew was going to disappear in 2 years the day he left office. So we come into office with a $1 billion gap in basic ed K-12 funding. We had to backfill as much of that money as we could, knowing that we're in the heart of a brutal recession. And there's charts and all the evidence to prove it. I'll be more than happy to give it to you. And so how irresponsible was that? How do you spend $8 billion and not address the transportation needs of the state? So you want to know why the Democrats got swept out of office?
No,
That's
not
a
what
start.
that was
That's
not
a
my
start of
question.
the reason.
That was not
So-
my question. Thank
So
you.
you don't
That
have a
was not my question.
So,
Joseph?
yes.
Well, I don't really know what the question was, Walt, but